Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday Meet the Artist series. My name is Tommy Hensel, and I am the director of the Fine and Performing Arts Center at Moraine Valley Community College. Moraine Valley is located in Palos Hills, Illinois. It's a southwest suburb of Chicago. So we're in Cook County still, but we're in kind of extreme far southwest Cook County, but still a suburb of the city of Chicago. I'm excited to be able to continue our celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month tonight in our Meet the Artist series. And this whole series came about because in March, like everybody else in the country, we were forced to shut down our theater. We had to cancel the rest of our season. We initially rescheduled everything for August and September, thinking, oh, yeah, this pandemic can't last that long. Well, were we wrong? So ultimately, I've now canceled everything through March, and I've moved everything beginning in March. We're going to have shows again, hopefully. And I've moved everything into the late spring, summer, fall, and even into the spring of 2022. So we're moving ahead. But unfortunately, that means our theater is empty and dark, and we can't even really have performers in there right now because of no staffing and all that sort of stuff. So we sat down and we thought, okay, how can we continue to have a presence out there, but also how can we reach out to our fans, our patrons, our artists, all the people that we work with? So I reached out to a bunch of people who have either been on our stage recently or who are booked to come on our stage in the next season. And I asked them if they would be willing to sit down with me and just have a conversation online. So it started out as something I thought we might be doing for a couple of months. And now we're into maybe 5.5 or 6 months of doing this almost every Tuesday. We took one Tuesday off for a holiday. And we'll take election day off so that people can go out and vote. But otherwise, we're continuing to think we're going to keep doing this every Tuesday as long as we are not performing on our stage. And frankly, because it's kind of fun and we're having a good time and a lot of people are watching, we figured let's keep on doing it as long as people are interested. So I'm excited, as I said earlier, to continue our celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. We've had some wonderful artists with us. And tonight, I'm really excited. Back in February, we had 2 shows scheduled in February. And the penultimate show, the next to last show that we had was Mariachi Herencia de México, which is a fantastic ensemble from Chicago. They were one of the very last shows that we had before we had to shut down our theater. So I reached out to them, and 2 of the performers from that ensemble are here with us tonight. So I'm really excited to welcome to the broadcast studio. For the first time, I'm having multiple guests who are not in the same room together. So we're going to try this technology and see how it works. Welcome, please, Melanie Juarez and Marco Villela. And I'm going to add Melanie and Marco. There you are.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Doing fine, thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Good, thank
Pleasure to be
you.
here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, and I'm excited that you're in costume tonight. Thank you for that. I'm matching my drapes, but I'm not in costume. So I am calling in from my home in Berwyn, which is a western suburb of Chicago. Now, are you both in the city of Chicago?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So we're all kind of local to each other. So for anybody watching tonight, you're seeing a bunch of us who are from Chicago. And if you don't know anything about Mariachi Herencia de Mexico, we're going to learn more about the group tonight and about Melanie and Marco. But I definitely, a little bit later, will throw up their website on the screen so that you can go to their website, take a look at the things that they're doing, because it's an absolutely extraordinary ensemble, and you need to know who they are. So tonight, since there's 2 of you, we're going to kind of share questions back and forth. So one of the things that I'm always fascinated to find out from people is initially, what it is specifically that you do with the ensemble, and then we're going to dig a little deeper into how it started for you. But Melanie, we'll start with you. So what's your role in Mariachi Herencia?
Well, I am a vocalist and I also play the guitar.
Okay, and Marco, what about you?
I'm also a vocalist and I am a trumpet player.
Great, awesome. So one of the things that I always love to know is kind of how did it start for you? Like when you were a little kid, what was the moment that you said to yourself, wow, I really want to do this? And what was the point where you said, not only do I want to do this, but I actually think I might want to just do this for a living, something like that. So Marco, I'm going to go to you first. It's like, how did it start for you?
Well, I've always loved music for my entire life since I was, I guess, a few months old. My first year party, a musical group was hired for my party, and I was always focused as the musicians. I didn't really notice anything else in the party, and ever since then, I just started to learn music. When I was in 5th grade, I picked up the trumpet for the first time, and in 7th grade, I joined Mariachi Herencia de México. Wow. Never did I know that I was going to perform at such a very high level and to travel the world to share the beautiful musical tradition that is mariachi music. I never had this in mind, to be honest. And well, I only hope that in the future things will get better.
Yeah, definitely. So are you, is this your senior year in high school?
This is my senior year, yes.
Awesome. So with Mariachi Herencia, when you're out of high school, are you out of the ensemble? Do you move on, or can you stay?
No. Well, it really all depends. I mean, on each musician, but just because you move to a different state, like say you go to college off Illinois, doesn't mean you're out of Mariachi Herencia de México. You can still come back, and we can always perform with the tours. And it's a nice thing about Mariachi Herencia de México is that you don't have to leave it you don't have to leave Herencia when you leave Illinois. You can still be a part of it.
Awesome. So Melanie, so how did it start for you when you were a kid? What was your sort of first introduction to performing?
Well, I was a really, really young girl. I was probably like 5 years old when I started, and I would just put like mini shows at my house, and I'd like tell everyone to like gather around because I was gonna start to sing. And so it started off as a kind of a little thing that I like to do, and I started getting serious around like 8 or 9 years old, when I started to sing and also play guitar. And I was around almost turning 14 when I joined the group, and I haven't left since.
So is this your junior year in high school?
Yes, my junior year.
Awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and one of the things people don't know is that perhaps unless they've been to the website or seen the group, is that this is all students. It's a student group for the most part. So these are all people who are carrying on the mariachi tradition for this generation and the next generation. It's very exciting. So I'm a musician myself. I'm a singer. So I know the terror of auditioning. So I would love to know, what's the process of getting into the group? Do you have to audition? And what was it like for you? Melanie, we'll start with you.
Okay, so there's like levels in the Mariachi Herencia de Mexico. So we're like the performing group, the ones that did the tours and the albums. And for me, I was a very shy girl. I was always very afraid of performing live. I had major stage fright, and I wasn't really good at the guitar, and I wasn't confident at it either. So I remember going in, and I was so nervous. So it was basically the teacher, and he was like sitting in front of me, and he was just like, play this song or play this one. And so basically I played it, and then I performed, I auditioned singing as well. And so then after the air, they kind of decided where I would be placed. And so then I ended up joining this group.
So a question for you: I can't remember, because when I watched the show in February when you were at our theater, there was so much going on, and I was watching. Does everybody sing, or is it just certain people that sing?
Well, we all sing, because there's like coros, so it's like when we all sing as an ensemble. So we all do sing, but I would say some people have more solo songs than others.
Well, some people are better at singing than other people, as we know.
Yeah.
So Marco, I'd love to know what was it like for you getting into the group?
Well, yeah, for my first 2 years of trumpet playing, my teacher, I respect him a lot, and he only got me so far, but everything after, it was kind of just, I was on my own. So I was confident because I had a good knowledge of music theory. I had a good grasp on music notation and how to read notes on a paper. I grew up a piano player, and so I had a firm grasp of how to read music, and I can translate all that I learned from the piano into every other instrument that I know. I'm a multi-instrumentalist, so I kind of know how to get around the instruments. So by the time of the audition, I played the trumpet, and although the trumpet wasn't my strongest instrument, I still gave it my best, and of course, I made it into the group.
Cool. So one of the things interesting that you brought up, I think, is a really cool thing for me to like throw out to everybody out there. If you're a parent and your kids are studying music, find a teacher that will teach them music theory.
Definitely.
I was lucky. I studied piano for 12 years and I have a degree in music. And when I went to music school, I was so far ahead of other students in that school because I had 12 years of a really hard teacher, making me, at the beginning of every piano lesson, we went over theory homework first and then studied the piano. So if you're going off to college to study music, yay for you, because you're going to be so far ahead of some of the other students. It's amazing how many students are super talented as performers and know squat about reading music or transposing or just even like how keys work together. That's a big thing,
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So I think that's interesting is that trumpet may not have been your very first instrument, your very first choice, but that's where you ended up with mariachi. That's cool.
Of course, yeah. When a few years into my trumpet playing, I fell in love with the instrument. I just really like how it sounds. I really like how its instrumentation with the ensemble blends together and just overall brings the music, brings it forward and really emphasizes a few of the adornments in the music and just makes the music better.
Yep. So one of the things, I know because I've presented your ensemble before and I've done a lot of research, but I think people might not know what mariachi music really is. Where did it come from? And, what's the focus of mariachi? Who wants to field that question?
I'll take that one. Mariachi music started as peasants' music, workers' music, the campesinos, back in the 1800s. Early 1900s. And since then, multiple instruments were added. It only started with the harp, violin, and guitar, and from then, more instruments were added. The bass, the guitarrón, was added, and then a small little guitar instrument known as Villela, which is just a higher pitched guitar. It's only 5 strings, as well as trumpet. Brass was kind of one of the last to be added. All together create what's called the mariachi sound. Then we have artists and composers like Rubén Fuentes and Rigoberto Alfaro, who make beautiful arrangements, beautiful compositions in the mariachi genre that really flourished the genre and just prospered. The mariachi genre prospered from those arrangements, as a lot of people fell in love with it, especially those Mexicanos, the Mexicans.
Mm-hmm. So really old school traditional mariachi from Mexico, sort of at the beginning, was almost predominantly a male dominated music form, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so I think it's exciting that there's so many amazing, talented women like Melanie and the rest of the group that are being embraced into the mariachi community. The first time I ran that I even knew that your group existed was one summer. I was at the Millennium Park for one of the concerts, the symphony concerts, and I came really early. And they have this pre-concert performance, and it was students from the Mariachi Herencia de México that were performing. And I thought I was sitting really close. I was sitting like right up front, and I was amazed how great they were. So I thought, I've got to look this up. So I actually went online and tried to figure out who represents this group because I really want them in my theater. Cool. So Melanie, what's I don't know what it would be like coming from a traditional Mexican family, but as a woman performing mariachi, do you ever have anybody that sort of pushes back on that and thinks women shouldn't be doing this?
Well, I'm Guatemalan, so I'm not actually from Mexico.
Okay.
So yeah.
There you go.
But no, it's always, especially my family, they're very, very proud of me, and they've always been there to support me in whatever I wanted to do, whether others thought it was okay or not. So, but no, people are usually like amazed that it's a group of both boys and girls.
Mhm. So Marco, what about you? I mean, there's always, in a lot of musical forms that are very traditional, there's a little bit of chauvinism sometimes. The men kind of don't want to give up their power over this art form. How do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, I guess it's nice now that we're able to have a mariachi group with both women and men, and I don't see that as a problem at all. Back in the day, it was always predominantly male,
Mhm.
and well, really, I don't really think much about it. I think it's even better now that we're able to include both genders into the mariachi, and just it gives us more freedom with arrangements to be expressed from either or, and it's really nice to be able to write these arrangements to someone's voice, and there are no limits to what we can do because we have a range of vocal. We have a vocal range now, so I think it's a plus.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Actually, the only other I've been at Moraine Valley for 13 years now, so I've booked 12 seasons, and it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Nice.
We booked a group called the Mariachi Divas. It's an all-female mariachi group that performs at Disneyland in California, and they tour the country. So our first experience with mariachi at Moraine Valley was an all-female, 100% female mariachi group, which was awesome. But I love your group because I feel like they were awesome and they're an amazing group. But I felt like your group was more traditional in many ways and really dug into Mexican tradition. Before we booked this webinar or this interview, I got some links of videos, and one of the videos that was sent to me was one of your more recent songs. It sort of ties in, Marco, to something you said because it's a duet. It's a male-female duet, and the song is called Si Nos Dejan, which is a very famous song by Jose Alberto Jimenez, who arguably is probably the most famous Mexican composer of traditional songs in the 20th century. And I think a lot of his songs are called rancheras in their style. But I want to show this video to everybody in a minute, but I would love to hear from the two of you. Were the two of you involved with the recording of Si Nos Dejan on the current album?
Yes.
Awesome. So in the making of the video, I know the video was shot in Playa, where was it? In Quintana Roo. Playa del Carmen in Quintana Roo. Did you all go down for that, or was it just the performers who we see on the video?
It was just the performers. I think in the ending video, that we are all walking towards the sun, or we were just walking down the beach. All of us who were in that line, we went.
Okay, cool. So Melanie, how was that being part of that video shoot?
Well, I wasn't part of that one. Marco was.
Oh yeah, she wasn't. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk to you about the other video that I'm showing later because I know you were part of that video. But one of the things I'd love to do is first, but we'll come back and talk about this song and about Jose Alberto Jimenez for a moment. Alfredo. We're going to talk about the music in a minute, but let me show this video first. So I'm going to, it'll take me a second because I'm not technical. I'm going to do a share screen and show everybody this video.
Si nos dejan, nos vamos a querer toda la vida.
Si nos dejan, nos vamos a vivir a un mundo nuevo.
Yo creo podemos ver el nuevo amanecer de un nuevo día.
Yo pienso que tú y yo podemos ser felices
todavía.
Si nos dejan, buscamos un rincón cerca del cielo.
De lo que soñamos.
Si nos dejan, te llevo de la mano, corazón, y ahí nos vamos. Si nos dejan, buscamos un rincón cerca del cielo.
Si nos dejan, haremos con las nubes terciopelo.
Y ahí, juntitos los dos, cerquita de Dios, será lo que soñamos. Si nos dejan, te llevo de la mano, corazón,
y ahí nos vamos. Si nos dejan, de todo lo demás nos olvidamos. Si nos dejan, si nos dejan.
Great. There we go. Sorry, I had a little technical glitch there. So great. That's a beautiful. First of all, it's a beautiful song. Great video too. So tell me a little bit about that song. I know. I mean, for those people who don't speak Spanish, the essential idea of that song is, "If they let us, we will love each other forever." And that's basically the song. But there's a lot more beautiful imagery in it than that, but that's sort of the sentiment. But I would love to know if you have some sort of info about that song, either one of you.
Yeah, before I begin, I would like to say that we're about to hit 2.5 million views on Facebook with this song. So I would like to thank everyone for the support and check it out. Let's get it to 3 million. So Si Nos Dejan is one of Jose Alfredo Jimenez's most famous songs. It's one of many.
And there's his name, by the way, so people can Google him.
Very great artist, probably one of my idols in the mariachi genre or in music in general. I look up to him, even though sadly he did pass away already, and it's been a while too. Mm-hmm. But Jose Alfredo Jimenez and his library of songs, Si Nos Dejan is one of them. It's an arrangement of legendary arranger and composer Ruben Fuentes. And this song just tells a love story of two lovebirds who just want to be left alone in the world together and would travel far beyond just to be alone and just to live their love life for the rest of their days.
Yep. I think one of the phrases in the song is about finding a corner in near heaven, or a corner in heaven, a rincón.
Right, a corner in heaven.
A corner in the sky, rincón del cielo, something like that. It's a beautiful. So I would say anybody who doesn't know the song, obviously listen to it here, but look at the lyrics, because it's a beautiful poem beyond just the wonderful music as well. And is this one that you, before the pandemic, that you performed in your shows?
Well, the song we've already performed it many times, but what's so special about it is the arrangement from del maestro Rigoberto Alfaro, and he just brings it not only a traditional sound but also such a modern sound so that everyone can enjoy it. So I think this arrangement specifically is really going to be one that's everyone's going to love.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the things I really like about some of the music that you have in your show is that some of it is straight out traditional mariachi, beautiful, and then there's stuff like this that has that beautiful arrangement that has more of a modern feel to it with all the traditional instruments and traditional sound at the same time. And I think you're right; it makes it more accessible. And I think you've done an amazing job. The people who run the Mariachi Herencia de México have done a great job in finding arrangers, like the arranger who worked on this piece for you. Yep. So yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful song. So Melanie, let me ask you first. As you're sort of looking at this time in this ensemble and you're performing, what's your sort of vision for yourself as you move forward? Are you planning on continuing to be a musical performer? Are you studying other things?
Well, I mean, I do want to continue to perform and do like performance. Also acting. I think acting and performing is they have such a big similarity. You really need to make sure that the audience feels the song and then you make sure that you portray it the right way. So for me, it would definitely, I'm still going to continue music probably for the rest of my life. I really do love it that much.
So I know you're in the ensemble, you sing and you play the guitar. Do you play other instruments as well?
Well, I mean, I don't limit myself. I like to play everything. Marco is really good at piano, and wherever we go, Marco finds a piano and he just starts playing. And so I like to just sit there with him and watch him play because I don't know, I really like all the instruments, but right now my main focus is guitar.
So Marco, what about you? As far as like looking ahead as a senior in high school and you're looking at like what's coming up next, are you looking at music as a career? Or are you looking at other things as well?
I'm definitely thinking of pursuing music as a career, not my only career, of course. I'm planning on double majoring when I'm in college. But of course, music is going to be one of the focal things or one of the things I'm focusing rather. I love music. Ever since I was a year old, I love music. And of course, recently I started composing for the group. I started arranging for the group. I've taken very much inspiration from the legendary composer Rigoberto Alfaro, who has written so much for us for these past two albums, Esencia Volume 1 and Volume 2. Takes already beautiful songs and just gives them a fresh sound and just makes them 100 times better, 1,000 times even. And it's just a huge inspiration for me, Rigoberto Alfaro, as well as Ruben Fuentes and Jesus Rodriguez, the Ijar, who sadly passed away recently. But just great composers and great arrangers that inspired me to start writing for the group. And, who knows, in the future, I'll continue writing for other genres. Another genre I really enjoy a lot is jazz. It's what got me into music in the first place. So I'll be pursuing many, multiple, plethora of musical genres in the future.
So interesting. That brings up an interesting question for me is jazz is very focused on improvisation. Is mariachi really more of a stricter musical form?
It's more or less both. There are songs where it's kind of like it's structured already. There's already like set instrumentation for everything. But there's sometimes like the vocal performance is very more or less it's more free. It has more of a freedom than the instrumentation. Of course, there's also songs where let's say like a trumpet part has an improvisation section, but it's usually structured most of the time.
So Melanie, how about you? Because I know vocals are one of the things you do, and then obviously guitar. Do you get a chance to improvise at all?
Yes, I mean, how Marco was saying, the structure of the song is already kind of laid out for you, but it's kind of where you take the song, and the feeling that you want to give off. I think it's more free when it comes to expressing your feelings because I feel that every single um person like that is in this genre really has their own type of style, and they give their own kind of zazz to each of their performances and to the music and to the song. So yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I get that as a performer myself because I do a lot of cabaret performance, which is usually a small, intimate environment where you're singing for a group of people that are very physically close to you. So you have to be like really true and real, and you have to connect with your audience, but it also gives you a chance to read them a little bit and say, okay, they're jiving on this, so I'm going to go in this direction a little bit because they're getting that. Yeah, it's cool that you can do a little bit of both. I mean, I love really traditional music sometimes, like good classical music that you can't really stray from what's there, but I'm equally, if not more, in love with music that lets you do both,
Right. Yes.
That's really cool. So the second video that I queued up for tonight is another traditional song. I hope I'm going to get this right. Cucurucucu Paloma.
Yes.
Correct. So before I show this video, which I love because it shows the group, I loved the other video. It's a beautiful song and it's a great video. This one actually gives us a chance to see the group in action in your costumes and performing. So you said both of you are actually in this video, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everybody who's watching, when we show this video, watch the guitars and watch the trumpets and see if you can catch Melanie and Marco in the thing. But I don't know anything about this song. So before I show it, so what's this song about?
So it's okay. So first it was made famous by Lola Beltran, and it was written by very famous Mexican composer Tomás Méndez. And so it's basically Cucurucucu Paloma is a type of bird. It's a dove. I'm pretty sure it's a dove. And it basically tells the story of a man that is kind of sad because his bird, which is supposed to represent like the love of his life, is leaving him. So this song is kind of like a cry to the person that you're missing and to the person that you love. Like I love you so much, and you just kind of in your own pain giving that out in the music.
So is the word cucurucucu kind of the sound of the bird? Is that what that
that's
represents?
what's supposed to, yes.
Yeah, paloma is dove. So okay, cool. Yes. All right, Marco, anything to add before I show this video?
I guess I would just add on that Lola Beltran is just one of the many amazing singers and interpreters of this wonderful music, amongst other legends like Pedro Infante, Lucha Villa, Jorge Negrete, Javier Solís, and Amalia Mendoza. The list goes on and on. Just amazing interpreters of this wonderful music, and we hope you enjoy the song.
Yep. So I'm gonna switch over to our share screen and show everybody Cucurucucu Paloma. Whoops. All right, let me make sure I do this correctly. Again, I'm not technological, so I'm working on it. There we go. Yeah, share screen, share screen.
Dicen que por las noches nomás se le iba en puro llorar. Dicen que no dormía, nomás se le iba en puro tomar. Juran que el mismo cielo se estremecía al oír su llanto. Cómo sufrió por ella, que está en su muerte la fue llamando. Cucurucucú, paloma. Cucurucucú, cucurucucú, cucurucucú. No llores. van a saber, que van a saber de amores. Que una paloma triste muy de mañana llegó a cantar a la casita sola con sus puertitas de par en par. Juran que esa paloma no es otra cosa más que su alma, que todavía la espera a que regrese la desdichada. Cucurrucucú, 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 paloma. Cucurrucucú, cucurrucucú, cucurrucucú. No llores. Las piedras jamás, paloma. ¿Qué van a saber? ¿Qué van a saber? ¿Qué van a saber de amores? Cucurrucucú, 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 paloma mañana leyó.
There we go. Great. That was beautiful. That's such a beautiful song. Just really lovely. So I mentioned earlier before the broadcast started, one of the things that I wanted to ask you is I think most of the people who are watching this have never, they see a beautiful video like that and it's a finished product, but most people have never actually been involved in actually shooting one of those videos. I would love to know what your experience was in making that video because I've done it before, so I know the answers.
Well, when it comes to recording that, it kind of there's like different types of shots that we take, and we kind of have to have it planned out prior to the shooting. But also, it takes a lot of time of just like standing there because it's kind of the cameraman has to get everything ready, make sure that he gets the right shot, the angle, the light, and so it's a lot of us just like waiting there patiently. And I mean, it's just a lot of retakes and just at different angles. So it's just you singing and singing at this, doing the same thing, but in a different angle. So
yeah, it's a lot of hurry up and wait. And when you're doing that, how was it for you, Marco?
Personally, I didn't really find a problem with the retake. I mean, recording a music video, it's just really fun for all of it. I've never really done this in my life. These were kind of like the first experiences with music videos. So, I mean, just like the entire process was fun to me.
So how long did that one take to shoot? Was it all done in one day?
Yes.
That's good. Woo.
Yeah, most of the videos we've made were kind of all done in one day. I think this one specifically took about a few hours, not so much. Yeah, it wasn't a lot, but yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Well, I think, a lot of it is honestly, before you ever set foot on stage and they aim a camera at you, if they haven't done all the work in advance to know exactly what they want in the order that they want it, then it's a nightmarish experience because it's a mess. But, luckily, obviously, whoever was shooting your video did a whole lot of good work in advance to plan it all out and storyboard it and the whole thing. But it's a beautifully well done. Where did you shoot it, by the way? That's a beautiful theater.
Talia Hall in Talia Hall.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I thought I recognized it, but that's a beautiful space, and it's actually a great space for your sound as well. I think they've got great acoustics in that space.
Yes.
So talking about like different spaces that you've performed in, so obviously you've toured outside of the Chicago region. You don't just perform around here. So I would love to know like where's your favorite place or coolest place that you've performed outside of this area? Melanie, we'll start with you.
Well, we've performed in Mexico, which is very, very fun and kind of surreal because I mean, we are a group of mariachi kids from Chicago, and to go perform in actual Mexico. I remember we had a show in Cocula, Mexico, and it was a really fun show because it was so many people there, and it was just the interactions that they had because they genuinely know the music. I mean, it's their music. So it was a really, really fun trip. I would say Guadalajara was probably one of my favorite ones.
Cool. What about you, Marco? Where's your favorite outside of Chicago place?
I gotta say, I can't really pick on a favorite, though I do have very memorable moments. We've traveled all around the United States, almost every state. We've been to Mexico, but of course we've also gone to Canada a few times now.
Mm-hmm.
And
cool.
Gotta say, one of my favorite moments was after, I think it was either our first or after our second Canadian show. There were Hispanic people there who started singing Cielito Lindo, a very famous song.
Yep.
A very famous Mexican song in the Mexican repertoire. And I mean, we were just kind of like, we were taken back by it because we were in Canada. So, I mean, Canada isn't really known to be very cultural, you know? Well, it is cultural, but
no, I get it.
Really to see like Mexicanos there, or just not only Mexicanos, but like Hispanic people, like from different countries of Central America. It was just a beautiful experience. I loved it a lot, and it was probably one of my favorite moments in touring ever.
That's
it was
cool.
just amazing.
Yeah, I remember when you performed at our space in February, that when you did Cielito Lindo, it was unbelievable. Everybody in the audience was singing along, and people were crying, and it was this beautiful. I mean, it really was beautiful. I was sitting in the balcony. You know, we have those boxes in our theater off to the side. So I was in one of those boxes, kind of, so I can actually see everybody in the balcony, and I can look over and look at the audience sitting in the orchestra. So I had a chance to actually watch people while they were watching you perform. And I was as fascinated by the people watching you as I was by your performance, because they were so into it. It was unbelievable. Honest to God, I've been there for 13 years, and it's one of the shows that was the most audience engaged of any show that I've ever presented. We have a couple of really nice comments from our viewers tonight. Here's one from Amavelia Garcia, giving you a nice shout out there.
Muchas gracias.
And then one of our patrons, Gene Ronsky, who watches all of these shows, but comes to almost everything we do at our theater, is loving, really wants to see you again, I think. So we're getting some nice feedback from the audience.
Thank you very much.
So cool. I've toured before as well, and there's something very special about, because you're touring together, and you got all these people that you see every day, and you come out on stage and you don't know who the audience is until you start to perform and you feel something from them. And I imagine because of what you do that you get a lot of feedback from the audience. I mean, like in the course of the performance, they sing with you, they talk to you, they shout out at you. I think that's cool, but how do you feel about that when that happens in a show?
I mean, I think it's something that's really, I don't know, it's a good connection, because whenever I'll like see someone that like they'll kind of like be staring off. So I'll be like, hey, I'm going to catch your attention. So I'll like start singing at them and pointing at them. And it's kind of fun seeing that your hard work is paying off and that others are genuinely enjoying it, because like putting on a show takes time and effort, and it's a lot of hard work behind stage and making sure that everything sounds good and looks nice. So I mean, it's really rewarding to see that people enjoy what we do.
Yeah. What about you, Marco? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, definitely. When the audience is into the show, it really fuels us to just making it even better, just, continuing forward, and just we're just having fun with these shows. We're just completely having fun. The audience is having fun. It's a great time. I love performing a lot.
Yeah. One of the things I loved in your show, I remember now, is as the performers were being introduced, they talked about where they were from, or they mentioned, if they were from a specific place in Mexico. And every time, no matter what town it was, or there was somebody in the audience who was from there, and they got excited and they shouted and they jumped up, and it was just unbelievable. It was just such a great fusion. As you continue to perform and you get older, and you're old like me, and one of the things that you already know, but you'll feel more and more, is that when you're on stage, you feel something from the audience. It's a physical sensation. It's not just a concept. It's actually physical. You feel it in your body. And that's the cool thing about performing, I think, is that you're feeding each other, and you get this energy that people who don't perform don't get it. They just don't get it. And I think what you're both finding now, you're young, but you've already got it, is that it's kind of addictive. Once you've felt it, you gotta keep getting it.
Yes.
So that leaves, we've got a few more minutes. That leads me to one quick question for you, is that, since we've all been, stopped performing in March, essentially, and we've all been kind of quarantining, how have things been going with your group? Have you still been able to connect? Have you been rehearsing or performing in some virtual way or together?
Yeah, we've been performing together. We are building up a new show, which we are very excited to present once all this is over. We have a very special album that we're making for the end of the year, which you guys should look forward to that. And just once all this is over, we'll get back to the grind. We'll get back to performing around the world. And we're just very excited to get back into it. But we've just been practicing together. And
that's awesome.
Forming this new show.
So your latest album was Esencia Dos, right? The Esencia Volume 2. That was your fourth album, correct? So this next one will be your fifth, coming out later this year.
Yes.
Awesome. Yep. And for people who don't know, when you go to their website, you'll see that their original album, they were nominated for a Latin GRAMMY for. So, we're talking about a tremendously talented group. I'm putting up your website here. I think everybody who hasn't been to this website needs to go get more information. And before we end tonight, I don't know how much you can speak to this, but I would love to know a little bit more about the Mariachi Heritage Foundation that you're connected to as part of Mariachi Herencia de México. So what is the Mariachi Heritage Foundation?
So Mariachi Heritage Foundation was a CPS program, Chicago Public Schools program, that has the same goal as Mariachi Herencia de México, to teach young students, first generation Hispanic children, about the culture and tradition that is mariachi music, and to just overall get them involved into like what it means to play mariachi, what it means to be Mexicano or Hispanic, and just overall have fun with the genre.
Cool. Yep. So I didn't put that website up, but when you go to the Mariachi Herencia de Mexico.com, there'll be a link to the Mariachi Heritage Foundation, or just Google or go to your favorite search engine and type that in. It's a nonprofit, so if you feel the urge to donate, please feel free to donate to their nonprofit organization. Like all of us who have nonprofits, we welcome donations of any size. So we're coming to the end of our time together tonight, but I wanted to know, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about or that's coming up for the group or for you personally that you would like to share with us?
I don't think there really is. I mean, as a kid, I think it's really important that we continue to, especially in the music of mariachi, that even if your parents weren't from Mexico or you didn't actually like listen to mariachi growing up, it's always important that to embrace other cultures, and very important to be open-minded when it comes to learning new kind of a new audience and a new perspective. So if anything, just enjoy it.
Cool. Marco, what about you?
I got to add on to that. Just like a huge thank you and overall to everyone who supported us, specifically our parents who came to this country to give us a better life. And of course, we are having a blast, and we just have to owe it to our parents, especially our director, Cesar Maldonado, who has taken us so far and has done all of this for us. And really, we wouldn't have gotten as far in our musical careers without the support of our parents, our family, our friends, and our director, Cesar Maldonado. It's been an amazing time here in Mariachi Herencia de México, and we hope to just continue to triumph in the future and just prosper overall.
Cool. And, that's actually a common theme with almost everybody that I've interviewed on this show in the past 6 months. When I ask them how it started for them or, when they got interested in music, almost everybody has pointed to their parents and said, I was a kid, I was 5 years old, I was 6 years old or whatever. And it was clear that this was exciting to me, and my parents bought me a piano, or my parents were supportive, or whatever. So there's something huge about that supportive parental family thing when you're a little kid, and they see you have a passion for something. And that's one of the things that I always, this is me on a soapbox, but I always like to say this to parents out there: let your kids do it. If they're into it, support them. My mother was convinced that I was going to live with her for the rest of my life and never be able to make a living as an artist. But even though she was afraid of that, she still was 100% supportive of everything that I did. And I've been in the performing arts for 35 years and still making a living doing it. So, I know that she's unfortunately passed, but she is up there and proud because she was the reason that I was able to do it, because she never said no. When I said, I want to study piano, I want to take an acting lesson, I want to study dance, whatever. So yay to your parents for,
Yes.
for their support.
Definitely.
Yes.
Awesome. So I just want to say a huge thank you again to both of you for taking so much time to sit here tonight and talk to me and create this beautiful video that's going to live on the internet. So those of you who are watching it now, this will be on YouTube and you can watch it again, or you can give the link to your friends. For those of you who are watching it later and hearing this, in the future, thank you. And please pass along both the link to this and I'm going to put it up again. Go to this website, Mariachi Herencia de México. Find out more about the group. Make sure that you're on their email list so that when they do start touring again, you can go see them. I will certainly be talking to your booking agency about getting you back to our theater sooner than later. But thank you both so very, very much.
Thank you.
Likewise, thank you very much. It's been a
So
pleasure to be
as I
here.
said before we started tonight, I'm going to take you out of the broadcast for just a moment to end things, but please don't leave. I just want to chat with you for a couple of minutes afterwards. But until then, I am going to you say good night to both of you. So thanks, Marco. Thanks, Melanie. All right, everybody. I'm going to put up my brand because I couldn't do this when there were two other people on the screen. Thank you all for tuning in. We do this every Tuesday night. I'm planning to keep doing it. The only Tuesday I plan to take off is for the election day. largely because I'm an election judge, so I'm going to be in the polling place with my mask on, making sure people don't cheat in the election. But also, I feel like it's a night that everybody needs to be out voting, so they don't need to be watching anything. They need to be out voting. So that's the only night I plan to take off. And I'm excited that we've been celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month for the past 3 weeks, and we have one more week of Hispanic Heritage Month. And I am thrilled that next Tuesday we were able to reschedule a performer who had to cancel earlier because of some technical issues with electricity and internet. California has weird problems with electricity and internet. But I am interviewing the one and only iconic performer, Charo, next Tuesday night. I adore Charo. I've presented her twice in the last few years at various theaters and feel like we've become friends, even though we don't see each other all that often. But I love her so much, and I think you're going to enjoy the interview because she is more than just coochie coochie Vegas showgirl. She is also one of the world's preeminent flamenco guitar artists, and we're going to have a wonderful time talking to her next Tuesday. So until then, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and we hope to see you every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central for our Meet the Artist series. And with that, I'm going to sign off for the night. Thank you.